without having to run and just take my time as she can't get around the table. Why should I give a shit? That's another problem. But like in other games, they've shown where like in the Baker family, like what's his name, the main guy, he would like move a table out of the way or something, or smash through a fucking wall.
Yeah.
They should have programmed it so if you did that for too long, back and forth around like a table that she can get through, she just fucking slices it in half or throws it.
Yeah,
but no, it's almost lazy.
It's like I've thought that while I've been playing it. Like the AI it's not like necessarily stupid, but they don't give it anything to do. And like not only was it better in 7, but there are games that came out like nearly 10 years ago now that had better like horror game villain AIs, like Outlast, Alien Isolation, all that
Alien
kind of shit.
Alien Isolation, yeah.
Like it's ridiculous.
I think you'll kind of see why I think that's the case, because once you're done with this section, there isn't another enemy like that in the game. Like the other lords are all completely different. So it's not like if she was the main villain, which I actually think she should have been. Like, I don't know. They would have focused more on that AI side of it. But instead it was like, I imagine one team had like her section, one had Heisenberg's, one had whatever. And they're all different. So I guess it wasn't like focus, which is really annoying. Because hers is the best part of the game.
Yeah. Well, it's like, it's a really cool idea for them to be like, look, we've got these, instead of just like, in like 2 or 7 where you kind of have one main central location, they're like, we're going to give you all these different areas to explore and these different villains throughout the game.
Yeah.
It's like, that's cool, but when you don't put the same amount of detail into each of them, it's kind of pointless.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's a really, I think it's a fun game. Like but it's nothing, it's not 7.
No.
Which is kind of a letdown, but
I think it's like you said, 7 was like kind of special.
Mm.
There hadn't really been another game like that, and it was a proper kind of return to form for Resident Evil without being, with still being its own thing, I suppose.
Yeah, and like you're saying about you would rather them either go super horror in this game or campy and pick one.
Yeah.
I mean, there's some stuff in this game where it's like, I'm just thinking dialogue alone. Like, there's, you know, the whole thing in Resident Evil 5 where there was a section where you, as Chris, had to punch a boulder to death.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So they're like the massive boulder that's like probably weighs 5 tons, and Chris just punches it into oblivion. And that was like a serious cutscene in that game. One character in this game says, that I hate that boulder punching asshole Chris.
Does it actually
like
bring it
actively,
up?
Yeah, they're actively like referencing how much of a meme.
But
in like a serious moment, it's not even like if it was like a throwaway thing you read or like extra dialogue, fine. But
yeah, I don't know if this might just be something wrong with my game when I've been playing it, because I've had, like I said to you, other glitches and shit. But a lot of the time, a character starts talking, and then they start talking again, like their dialogue they start a new line of dialogue that just cuts off what they were talking about. Like when like you're getting chased by like Cassandra or one of the sisters or whatever. She like starts yelling something at you and then stops and then starts a new line of dialogue.
Oh, okay. I definitely had it in those sections, yeah. Like if you get too far away from them while they're saying something, yeah, it just cuts off.
Yeah.
But
well, like I was,
and they've only got like 3 lines as well.
Yeah, like I walked into like the Duke's room, and he said brings up the "what are you buying, what are you selling" guy. He's like, as an old friend of mine used to say, "What do you buy?" Ah, Mr. Winters. It's like, why? I haven't moved or anything. It's just really annoying.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that's just like a... Yeah, because the Duke barely talks when you're just stood around. Apart from in that bit, he does. And he keeps bringing up the, what are you buying? It is funny, like, yeah, he does say things on repeat as well when you're in the menu. I don't know. I do like the Duke. I think he's one of the best, like, kind of...
he's really fun. I like him. But yeah, it still doesn't make sense how like you can just walk to his room and they just stop chasing you.
Yeah. Because as well, why is he there? He
Yeah,
says one line, doesn't he? He says something like,
he's
"Oh,
like,
you know, where profit is to be made."
it's like I'm here to do business with the madam.
It's like, well, she can clearly get in that room then, and she know like what she wouldn't be happy with you doing business with this
Yeah, Mr.
guy.
Winters. Like, it doesn't make sense.
But it's funny as well, like even in the trailer when it was like all of the lords saying his name, and it's like they're trying to make it out like this guy is fucking badass. Ethan Winters.
Yeah.
Ethan Winters, and it's like he's just this fucking douche.
He's just kind of a guy. He doesn't do like much. Or like, the only reason he stays alive is they make it out like, wow, he's like so strong that he's survived all of us. It's like, no, you've let him survive.
Yeah.
If you actually tried to kill him, you easily could have, as we've seen. But you decide to like throw him across the room instead of gutting him.
Yep, there and then.
Yeah.
And it's like, why did I love how she slices off his arm? He doesn't react to it, and it's fine, obviously, because I guess in 7 they made it out that like the medicine was able to kind of help that.
He literally gets his arm. He gets his arm cut off, and then he just puts it. He just goes back and grabs it and like sticks it on his arm, and it's stupid.
That's the problem. Like, it is a really stupid game. I just think like I'm just cringing at some of his lines. There's one where he says something like, "Ugh, fucking gross. You're as something like as gross in death as he was in life." Ugh. And like worse line delivery than I just did.
Yeah, I don't know what happened because I don't remember having a problem with him in 7 at all. But in this, I'm like, even just the voice actor, I'm like, are you even trying?
He's definitely trying. There's not one single cell in that man's body that's trying. Yeah, because like, oh my god, when Mia like gets shot at the start, Mia, no, ah.
Oh, that bit made me laugh so much though. When he's like, Chris, what are you... Ethan. I know.
Honestly, that might be one of my favorite things in a video game recently, like recent times. Like, this is why I said to you, like, he's just a little beta male.
Yeah.
Like, just... Because the fact that you're taking his daughter.
Yeah. It's like,
Ethan, no.
And he just...
boy.
He just stops.
Yeah. Oh, it's so funny. And then the other, like, I know it's going around quite a lot at the moment, but the bit where you save that girl in the village house.
Oh yeah.
And then when she falls into the fire because she just wants to, he's like, "Why does everyone keep dying on me?"
He slams fist against.
Don't even joke about that. Don't joke about someone
mean?
slamming it. You'll see something that way. Just it's full of the cliche and tropes. But did they mean to? This is what I mean. I can't tell if because, like you said, 7 wasn't like this at all.
No.
But anyway, we should probably start recording. I know we've already spoken about this.
What? I started recording like halfway while we were talking about Resident Evil.
Okay, fine. You can.
Because I was like, we could easily talk about this for hours.
Yeah, we could talk about it for hours, and you haven't even gone to like you're in the first world.
I mean, I'm like 2 or 3 hours into the game, and as much as we complain about it, I still really like it.
Yeah,
because I like how stupid and campy it is. I just wish it wasn't.
Yeah,
I wish it was a serious horror game. Because we didn't get horror games like this much.
It's super endearing that like. I just can't. I close my eyes and I'm picturing like the script writer for this game writing some of the dialogue. But there's stuff as well that doesn't make sense. Like when you do take out the first of the daughters and you go near her room, but it's locked, and you hear her say, "What did you do to my daughter?" Or something. She shout.
Yeah.
But like, is she talking to you? Is she shouting to herself about you?
Wait, I think I know the bit you're talking about. I thought that was fucking the lady Demetrius who's like, "What did you do to my daughter?" It's like, first of all,
Yeah.
how do you even know this? And what are you even talking about?
Well, exactly, because the line delivery is like she's saying it directly to Ethan, and you're
Yeah,
right outside the room. Because at that point, when that line came out of the room, I was like, shit, I need to find somewhere to hide now because she's going to burst
yeah.
out.
I thought she was about to burst out, but she doesn't.
No. And one last thing that's kind of a nitpick, but like the puzzles in the game are the loosest term. The word puzzle. They
Well,
are just here's a thing and take it to the thing.
yeah, that's. I love the puzzles in the other like Resident Evil games because you get a bunch of different items and you got to figure out like what you do with each one. But
Yeah,
in
you
this,
can take
it's
them
just
apart.
yeah, in this it's just kind of you get one item at a time and you have to go put it somewhere. You have to go place it somewhere, whatever, or take a bit out of it and place it somewhere. Like it's so simple. Like I don't know.
Like it makes it a little bit satisfying, just like the mechanics, like how it's more fluid than 7, and like, but it's like that first bit to get into the castle titty. It's like you find the 2 little amulet things and you pop them in the wall.
Yeah.
How is that a puzzle? Like it was just a waste of time having
It's
to
not a
rotate
puzzle.
and if you don't get it right, even if you get it like
Super off,
10
it just
inches
automatically resets it. Yeah, like it's not a puzzle. It's just a way of forcing you to go do this little cinematic section.
Yeah. And there's a puzzle with like, well, I say puzzle. There's like bells. Have you seen this?
No.
All right, well, I would say that. I mean, there's a similar thing later on where it's like, it's like you have to do. You realize by looking around the room that there's something special that you have to do with these things, or like whatever. But then they put a massive piece of parchment or something that you can read that says the 6 gongs must be shot in order to progress. Why did you put that there? We already know.
Yeah.
You're trapped in a room. What else are you gonna fucking do? Like, they just
Yeah.
think everyone's super dumb.
Yeah.
Or they're dumb. Like,
Or they are just stupid. They think they're really good puzzles, but they're not. Yeah, I don't really know how to feel about that because it is satisfying to complete a lot of them, but it's so basic and simple. It's baby shit.
it is baby shit.
Like,
It is the essential. It is just getting shapes and putting them through the hole.
yeah. It's like, I'm going to put up that meme of, that video of that guy who he's got like a bucket thing with all the shapes. And he's like, we have a square. It goes in the square hole. Now we have a long rectangle. It goes in the square hole.
Yeah.
We have a semicircle. Where does that go?
Do you see a slot that would fit
The semicircle.
semicircle?
The semicircle.
That's right. It's the square hole. Okay. Up next, the triangle. We know what hole that goes
The
into,
triangle.
right?
Triangle.
That's right. The square.
That's right. The square hole. I love that video so much.
Yeah, that is that is good. But yeah, for anyone wondering, Resident Evil is a dumb game, but you should buy it.
You should, yeah. We're talking so much shit, but you should definitely play Resident Evil 8. It's so good. But
Yeah, because like on a mechanic level and like the world design's really good. I think it just holds up that way.
the world design is like amazing. Like the castle looks fantastic. The characters are all like, they're really endearing, as stupid as they are.
Because they're just cartoon. Like, there's no need for Lady Dimitrescu to be tall.
No.
And I'm sure that there is. I feel like there is some theme. I saw some behind the scenes developer documentary thing, and they said that like there is a reason she's that tall because then they can call her a certain thing that's Japanese. I don't know. You never see it.
It just it just adds a lot of like dimension to the world, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Even though it never really gets explained why she's like 10 foot tall and could like slam dunk. So, but it adds something. You're wondering like, why is she so tall? She must be like some ancient creature or some shit.
Yeah.
You know.
There is one thing as well that like I've not seen anyone discuss, and it's the fact that there's no like meta kind of bonus games in a way, like bonus sections. So remember in 7, you could pick up videotape and you'd play the videotapes and you'd be in that as like its own
that's right.
separate level. There's nothing like that in this game. It is just like you're in the world, get shit done. There's no like weird spin-off kind of stuff. And like, it doesn't bother me because like it's fleshed out enough that like the gameplay's really good and whatever. And there's enough for you to do. Like this game's probably as long as 7, maybe a little bit. I don't know, maybe a little bit. So I mean, there's a trophy for beating it in 3 hours.
I saw that. It's like beating in 3 hours, like a trophy for like use less than 10 bullets or some shit. Like
there's one that's like don't pick up anything, don't use anything, don't even look at the menu, like the crafting menu or something. So you can tell that like, I mean, Resident Evil games are all about completing and then going back and playing through. Like Resident Evil 2, it's like you could play that game 3, maybe 4 times through.
Yeah, I suppose.
And this is like that, but nothing changes in the game once. Like you obviously you can carry over your weapons and shit, and it just makes it more of like a fun experience. But it's not like 2, where if you played as Claire, there'd be slightly different sections. Still a good game. I still think it's one of the better games to come out this year. I haven't really played anything. I've heard a lot of people talking about like Returnal and stuff, PS5, and how people were fucking singing the praises of that game before it even came. Like, I have no doubt in my mind that game's going to be great. It's going to be fantastic.
I know,
one of them
exactly
being like
who you're doing an
Colin
impression
Murray.
of. Yeah.
Who am I doing an impression of?
Well, it's any of the kind of funny guys. Like any of them, like the way they talk about shit.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. But then, like, it comes out and people then have to say like they don't enjoy it. Like this game is purely for people who are into like hardcore. Apparently, some of the runs are like 3 hours long, and if you die, that's 3 hours wasted.
Yeah.
Which,
although
it's my kind of game, but
it's the kind of game though where I'm wondering if people are gonna like really like it because it has a really cool, unique mechanic, like that kind of stuff, or if it is actually a genuinely good game. Like, do you know what I mean?
yeah, because I saw some people who had reviewed it haven't finished it because they couldn't, and it's fine. Like fine, I'm sure by that point you can make an informed opinion about a game like that, like especially a roguelike.
Yeah.
But it's like, if it is that difficult, apparently it's got issues with it as well, where it's actually bricking people's PS5s.
Oh really? I haven't heard that.
Yeah, so that's not good.
No.
But there hasn't been a game come out this year that's had so much like fanfare, and Village kind of deserves it for all the right and wrong reasons.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy as well that it's bricking people's PS5s. Like,
yeah, I don't really know why. Well, we've been going for a while now, and we've only spoken about Resident Evil Village. We haven't done a podcast like this for fucking months.
We haven't done it in ages.
I've got a few topics, but to be honest, it's nothing relevant. It's all just stuff that I just thought about while I've been sat in my pants.
Cool.
But tell me what you've been, what have you noticed? Anything going on in the world aside from all the shit that's going on at the moment?
I mean, there's.
I want to get into that.
The Israel Palestine thing.
But more, did you see the whole IGN thing?
No, I didn't.
So, a guy from IGN, I think America, wrote an article, basically just saying, here's all the charities that are helping the civilians.
Yeah.
And that's fine. Like, great, put that out because people need to know. And if people, now people know where to go.
Didn't it get like taken down or something?
It got taken down by the parent company of IGN because their ties with like Israel and like the money they get and government stuff there. They didn't want to seem like they were taking a stand, so they were the writer was forced to take it down. But then it all went around the internet. Everyone's made videos on it and shit, and and now they've had to backpedal. But it's like they've sent the guy, basically the person who wrote the article is fucked.
Yeah.
Like, because then it just comes down on that. It's just shit. But this brings me to the thing I sent you last night about these people who have no, not that we do. Like, this is my point. I don't know enough about this situation to have a stand on. It sounds like I know enough to be that, you know, to say certain things, but I'm not going to give you my full political beliefs on them.
Yeah.
Or we're not going to be like, come check out our Twitch stream, where we're going to be
donating everything we earn and crying about the dying children. Oh.
See, okay, yeah, exactly, right? I would, if we were big enough to do that, I would definitely do something for it, but we wouldn't be crying on screen. We would just be like, right, we're going to fucking do a 24-hour live stream of playing Bubsy 3D. Donate, and all the money will go to it. We're not going to sit here and cry. Like, kind of funny.
Oh.
Their whole point is, like, we're going to sit here and cry, and we're going to bring on people with Israeli-sounding names.
Yeah, to talk about it and talk about how this impacts the gaming industry. It's like,
yeah,
and us personally, it's like, shut the fuck up.
I remember when the BLM stuff first started happening last summer. God, that was long ago. They did the same thing then. They were like, and the thumbnail, the title of the video is "We Need to Talk."
Oh god.
And it was just them, but it was like spearheaded by fucking Greg Miller, who started tearing up and crying. 2 days later, they're just like, come and check us out. We're Twitch streaming Rocket League. So goofy and fun. And they never mentioned it again. Like, no other videos on BLM. Not even like a year later. But
they don't actually care. They're just, it's basically just like clout chasing.
It is clout chasing. They are
ridiculous.
The biggest fucking clout chasers. And I don't know if we're just saying that because we've got like no fans.
No. Yeah, but we both, I think, I used to listen to like fucking the podcast Beyond when they were like at IGN and shit. I used to watch them back in the day. The glory days, yeah. And then
where it was just about games.
It's just about games. And it was when they separated off and did Kind of Funny. That was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Bit more unique. Then it was the Colin Moriarty stuff. And ever since then,
it was, wasn't it?
Ever since then, I can't look at them the same way.
No, it was the way that Greg handled that. The way that
it was disgusting.
And it's funny even now because like you see, like he'll bring Greg up in like some of the podcast stuff he does. Back.
Yeah.
And it's like he just brings him up, but not in a bad way. He just says like, "Oh, you know, back when me and Greg did this, blah blah." Not a bad word to say. I think someone in a thread said that no one on Kind of Funny had mentioned the name Colin since he left.
I honestly bet there's some like contractual thing with everyone who works there that they are not allowed to bring it up.
Yep. Don't mention it ever.
Yeah.
I know we brought this up a couple of times, but the fact that they pushed him out because of a silly joke and they've made worse ones.
They made definitely.
Like, but yeah, it's just and every time I see fucking Greg Miller's just face on anything, like I'm going to be hosting the EA Play Live event.
Oh,
and it's always him and
the redhead,
the redhead,
Andrea
Renee.
Yes, yeah, it's something like that. Gosh,
like
see her, I have less of a problem with though.
Oh yeah,
she is a sort of games personality. Really, she's not.
She always has kind of. It's like that Jessica Chobot or Naomi Kyle kind of.
Yeah,
like they've always been.
They have like that role that they fill basically, which is fine.
Yeah, and this is gonna sound like we're like proper incels or like that. But like it's almost okay when the female presenters make shit cringy jokes because you're kind of like, oh okay, like do you know what? It's fine.
I mean, you kind of just expect it from them, to be honest.
Yeah, but then when Greg Miller's there and he's just making like. I don't know, like there's so many compilations of like Crowcat has done where it's like E3 cringe, and he's in it every time, and it's there. Anyway, sorry, we get sidetracked by fucking video games again, and Kind of Funny. And
we should do like a whole just show about talking shit about them because
yeah.
So
you know
every video they post, I'm like, fuck, shut the fuck
Yeah.
up.
You know, yeah, because what we said about doing this ages ago. We need to do it because we said about the, you know, like how H3 did like the whole content core. I'd love to do that.
Oh
For that kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah. We want to do. That'd be great.
But anyway, I've got some topics, but I want you to kind of, you know,
Okay.
I always bring topics, but you go for it.
I don't really have any topics. I was gonna. I thought it might be fun to bring up some like more thought-provoking questions rather than like or just like
Yeah, me too. I've got-
hypothetical shit that'd be like, you know, kind of fun to answer.
Kind of funny.
We don't. No.
Go on then. So, what have you been thinking?
I wrote them down, but I can't remember what I actually wrote.
What do you mean you wrote them down, but you can't remember? You just looked down as though you're looking at the
No,
things you
because
wrote.
I thought I had my little notepad down here, but I don't. I remember one of them was because there was recently a like local election here for like, you know, your district. Each district's like MPs.
Lord or
whatever.
lady.
Yeah, yeah. And I could have voted in, but I didn't.
No,
Because I have no idea, because I didn't even realize until the morning of that it was happening.
Right.
So I
Yeah,
was gonna ask you, do you think voting should be mandatory?
No.
You don't.
Because I think if... So, you're saying you didn't know anything about it,
Yeah.
but if someone came to the door that day and said, Matthew, you need to vote now, who were the candidates? Can you tell me?
No. Don't know what their
Exactly.
policies were. Yes, but what I'm thinking is if they were, if this was the case that you had to vote,
You would take a more...
people, do you think
Yeah.
people would take a more initiative in learning about these issues and what these people are trying to do?
Yeah. So I think... you would have to like bring in mandatory voting. You'd have to start it small, I think. You'd have to do it like... Maybe not with local elections. Actually, no, you know what? Go the opposite route. You'd have to do it for the main general.
The big boy, the general election.
Yeah. But then what would you do? What would be the penalty for not voting? And would you be able to vote neither?
Oh, that's a good point.
I actually think that would be interesting to see if, you know, imagine if they're rolling out the ballots and it's like, and, you know, like, it's split, like more people voted neither than
But that, yeah.
each party.
I mean,
I don't know.
I think like if you had done this like throughout like history and shit, like every single election would be completely different. Like people like throughout history, like even in like America or whatever, like fucking Reagan, like probably, you know, like shit like that. Those elections or like the Kennedy stuff would be completely swung in different directions.
Yeah.
But just because like a lot of the people who are very opinionated about these things don't actually vote.
That's the... This is the thing that was quite spoken about with the whole BLM stuff last year, is that was all you saw, wasn't it? It was just all you saw was people saying, "Oh, we need to vote. You know, we need to get. You know, we need to stop this happening. We need to blah blah blah. You know, cops shouldn't have this much power and you know, whatever." But then actual polls that were done by real people to be like, do you think that the police are taking too much of a stuff, you know, are causing issues, but whatever it was. And it was like more people voted like for the quote unquote wrong side of things. But it was because it was the older generation. No, all these kids on TikTok and Facebook Live and Instagram Live that were being like, or making stupid meme videos about like how you should, like the whole Breonna Taylor, how they'd start, one of the TikTok trends was like starting with a silly question, and then it would hard cut to them being like, Breonna Taylor didn't get a choice. And it's like, fine, I know you're trying to spread that message, but did you vote? and most of them would be like, no, I don't know what voting is.
Yeah.
So making it mandatory, I guess, would force these fucking TikTok fucking dumpster babies to make
Yeah.
a choice, an informed choice. I think that is the problem. That's why I would have like a neither option, because then you could be like, I don't have enough.
Yeah, but then that's
I'm not-
that's basically the same as not voting, though.
But is it? Because that is then you're showing that someone is taking. It's
So
almost like the neither would be that. I just think that if someone has looked at both candidates and has thought, I don't want either of these, and they put neither, that is
No,
an informed decision.
maybe next
But I know
time.
what you mean. Yeah, but I know what you mean in like if there was just a no voting option, then yeah, you don't know if they.
Yeah. See, I
Don't
feel
know.
like if that was the case, we'd also see a lot more people voting like kind of third parties,
Yeah,
because like
that is the problem. Well, not
since
problem,
literally
but
everywhere
we're
in the
just-
world is basically a two-party system.
Yeah.
It kind
Like-
of sucks.
if it, I feel like if the sort of younger generation was as it is now 10 years ago, in the UK at least, Lord Buckethead would be Prime Minister of the UK.
That's probably true.
More for memes and shit like that. But the funny thing is, like, more younger people would probably pick someone like that now anyway.
What are the
Like,
jokey people rather than
the joke of it, because they actually do have like good stances. Like I think Bucketheads was all about like global emissions and stuff
yeah,
like that.
like a lot of that stuff back then, is super important now.
Yeah.
That like these people actually have a bit more foresight, because like most party leaders tend to be like what they can do right now to fix issues and make themselves look better.
I think there's that. Do you think there's this weird thing now going forward, of like we've already had the cringe stuff from like Hillary Clinton saying about Pokemon Go to the poll shit.
I'm just
Trying to-
chilling.
Yeah.
Cedar Rapids.
Oh God, no! Just trying to, instead of trying to patronistically get the attention of younger people, like that didn't work. Everyone, because it's not like I feel like that older generation just assume that anyone under 40 or 30 are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Whereas you see the way that like AOC started playing Among Us. The next fucking election is going to be held by Dwayne The Rock Johnson is going to play Fortnite as his presidential candidacy. Like, it is going to be that. And do you think that that is like a good way of trying to get younger people invested to then make a vote, or should it just be mandatory? Like, should you still keep it not mandatory, but like try and get in? I think you're going to have to do that because old people are dying.
Old people dying, yeah. Well, I think the problem I have with it is that it's kind of a double-sided coin. Like, young people, obviously older generations, like the ones trying to get the votes, they think that they're really stupid, the younger generations, which is both true and it isn't. Like, they are stupid, but they also know when they're being lied to.
Yeah.
So, like,
So
they
how
can
do you?
they can tell when like people like this are being disingenuous. But then I also think they don't really care as much when it's if it was someone like fucking The Rock, they wouldn't actually care if whether he was right wing, left wing, whether he played
Nope.
Among Us or Fortnite, whether he was if they
Whether
they
he
would
was
be like
sus.
they would vote for him because he's Dwayne The Rock Johnson,
Yeah.
and they
Exactly.
think that's funny. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I just think we're never going to have a good system.
No. I was looking up countries that still enforce compulsory voting.
Doesn't Australia or something have?
Yes, Australia, famous.
Yeah, that's the only one I know.
There's countries like Bolivia, Ecuador, North North Korea,
That's surprising.
Uruguay, like, yeah. It's an interesting question. I'm very interested to see how anything to do with politics evolves over the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Because
It's going to get to a point where you just do it through your phone, probably.
yeah,
You just get a little text message. And I think if that's the case, then that will swing every major election in a huge way.
Well, I mean, people, yeah, you think of candidates will have their own apps as well. I feel like
Yeah. Like the Jeremy Renner app, everyone, the Joe Biden social media app. Oh, that'd be
you
great.
get like access to like a soundboard that's on there.
Yeah.
$15.99 a month.
It's gonna happen. That's definitely gonna happen. Like, what was it, like Kim Kardashian or whatever? They had like an app for like their Bitmojis or some shit like that. It's so stupid, but it made like them a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, of course it. And this is the problem. Like, if you did have someone who seems genuine, like Dwayne The Rock Johnson, he seems very agnostic either way. I don't really know what he stands for. He feels like he comes across as I'm just for peace and love. Peace and love.
Peace and love. Peace and love.
But does he really know the ins and outs of law, and does he care? I mean, you can make the point that no president has ever known any of that.
No. Well, this is why I like fucking Obama, because he was like a great he was very like, I don't want to sound cringy, but he was quite hip. Yeah, like most people could relate to him, but he also has like a total understanding of the issues. Like, I think he like fucking like studied law or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. But then again, that probably came from his circumstance as well, like being someone of color trying to like realize they want to get into that.
I suppose
they're
so.
bred into it. You know, it's like we have to, like, I want to try and do this. Whereas other people, like Trump, fucking, I start off with a small loan of $1 million.
Yeah, so out of touch. Like,
yeah. Speaking of Barack Obama, we do need to hold a moment of silence for Bo Obama.
oh,
Bo Obama died.
Obama.
Everyone. But like Bo. Bo fucking dad.
It sounds too close to like Mo Bamba or Yo Bamba.
Yo Bamba. I'm on the Wikipedia page for Bo. Oh, May 8th, 2021.
Oh.
First...
have we talked about the fact that Obama has a podcast that he does with Bruce Springsteen? And I just think that's so bizarre.
What I find weird is that when you told me about that, I didn't believe you. But then, obviously, the microphone on my phone overheard this, and when I've listened to podcasts, the adverts that get tacked on, I had an advert. I was like...
It's crazy.
I haven't listened to it, though.
I mean, I listened to a little bit of it. It's what you'd expect.
What's it called? Renegade.
Renegades, yeah.
Born in the USA.
But I mean, it's just weird. Everyone's got a podcast now. Everyone's reading audiobooks and shit.
The Bruce Springsteen and Barack Obama podcast, just two guys talking about hope. I mean, some people need that. Like, that's like the people who listen to sleep podcasts, like I do.
When you say sleep podcast, is it like people talking?
No, it's just other people sleeping. No, it's people talking, but they speak in a very like monotone voice, and it's like then there's like sounds behind it, like crashing waves. Shit.
So
they
it's
just
just
tell
like
you a story.
ASMR kind of stuff.
Basic. It's just baby bedtime. Fair for grown.
To be fair,
men.
I used to listen to like it was like one of those ASMR things, but it was like almost like you were an adventurer in like World of Warcraft type shit, of like listening, of like someone telling you about your quest and shit.
Oh, okay, right.
And I liked that kind of stuff.
there's a podcast all about everything as well. Like, I don't know, is there a podcast about RuneScape?
I
Then
can
why, that
almost.
just- you
There
just reminded-
definitely is.
Rune.
Um,
Oh my, what? I didn't even. I typed RuneScape, and the first. Can you try this? Go on Google, and just type RuneScape. What's the first recommended?
if I type. Sorry, my computer is really slow right now, so fucking Chrome takes ages to load.
Yeah,
What? So when I just search up RuneScape,
just type RuneScape and see what the recommended search.
RuneScape high scores, RuneScape Reddit, RuneScape membership, RuneScape
It's probably just because I just typed in
Grand
Barack
Exchange,
Obama.
RuneScape.
Exchange. Oh,
What did
yeah.
it come up with then?
Just RuneScape podcast.
Oh.
Reddit 2018. Any good RuneScape podcasts out there? Oh my god.
Yeah, and are there?
There's one. Yeah, so there's one called RuneScape Weekly. We talk RuneScape. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah, weekly.
Rogan and RuneScape. Is that Joe Rogan? And
Joe Rogan has a RuneScape podcast. His RuneScape side
Old-
hustle.
Yeah. Old school RuneScape podcast. God, there's loads.
What
Name
is
me another
RuneScape?
topic. Just give me a random topic. Just random. And I'll see if there's a.
What? Like, see if there's a podcast about it.
Yeah, just anything.
Bean farming. I don't know why that came to my head, but
You. Are you sure? Wait, is this something you're trying to like?
what do you mean?
Is this a product that you make and you're just trying to get it in there as like an ad-free
No.
musicals? This podcast, apple.com. Musicals with cheese podcast. Bean farming.
What? Oh my god. That's amazing.
The Deal with Yield, a farming podcast, and a couple of their episodes are dedicated to bean farming.
That's amazing. It's like, you know how they say like there's someone for everybody. It's like
Yeah.
there is a podcast
There's
for
a
everything.
podcast.
Oh, that's
yeah,
awesome.
I've got a dirty mug next to me. I just typed in dirty mug podcast. Yep. Dirty Chains, the podcast about mugs. Right. Well, I mean, look,
there's
whatever.
there's so many more creative titles they could come up with to do with mugs
I
though.
know.
Mug shots. Boom.
that-
Easy.
Yeah, done. We're gonna make another podcast. We've already got like 15 podcasts. We're gonna make another one,
Yeah.
and we just review every mugshot packet.
There's a
For
great there's a great podcast that's like one of those weird obscure things, but it's great. It's these guys who once a year they watch Paul Blart Mall Cop and they review it.
Nice.
They like do a really in-depth review of it like once a year. And one of them did something really cool where they you know the famous like Wizard of Oz thing where you watch it while listening to Dark Side of the Moon?
Oh yeah.
They
yeah.
did that with Paul Blart Mall Cop, and a lot of moments in it apparently like sync up quite well.
So weird. They should try and get like Kevin James as like a guest.
That'd be awesome.
That'd
It's
be
called
pretty
like
sick.
what's it called? It's got like a pun on the
Oh.
Paul Blart.
Did they
I-
watch?
Go on.
What? Wait, hold on. Are they not making? Did they review just the one, or did they review both?
I'm pretty sure they just do the first one, but they talk about the other ones. I think. It's been a while. I don't think I've seen all of them.
don't-
This is gonna annoy me. I can't remember what it's called. Paul Blart podcast.
Just while you're looking that up.
Till Death
in
Do Us Part.
2017. Oh, that's pretty good.
That is good.
Oh, I appreciate that. That sounds cool. I'm gonna go. Everyone, go out and listen to that. In 2017, a Paul Blart enthusiast created a Change.org petition that calls for the production of a third movie. Given that 6 years has passed between Paul Blart Mall Cop and Mall Cop 2, the year 2021 may be the ideal time for Happy Madison to release Paul Blart 3 as part of their new deal with Netflix.
I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised that they haven't actually done a third one.
I suppose I am, especially if now that like Netflix has like the rights to it, or they could do it. Like,
Yeah.
you think that because you think Adam Sandler has been given another contract to do like 10
Yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
I just want to read this quote from the guy starting this petition. At this point in time, there is nothing more sacred than the Paul Blart movie franchise. He is always with me. Everywhere I look, he is there. I see him segueing down my street. I see him eating meatloaf at dinner. He always. Now that's powerful shit.
That's
We're
awesome.
talking about politics. Fucking Paul Blart for president.
Get this man in office.
Oh, Paul Blart, president cop.
Oh my god, yeah, he'd be like Reagan 84. Like, the nation would love him.
Why isn't Kevin? I really wish Kevin James would be given like an uncut gems of his own.
Yeah, definitely.
Something where he can. He is weird because I hate every film he's in. Like not. Some of them are funny to hate, but you know what I mean. Like, he hasn't actually been in a good movie, but I don't hate him.
No, I have no reason to hate him, but yeah,
people like Rob Schneider, and I'm just.
I always think this with I think that with a lot of comedy actors. I'm like, they could probably do like a really good serious movie. I remember even like I think I said it to you once. I thought like, oh, Kevin Hart would be one of those ones who I'm like, I don't really like any of their movies, but they could make a great like serious film, and they did.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah.
The Upside. That's a great movie.
I guess they just need to want to do it.
Yeah.
Or have like the chance.
Like things. I think someone like Kevin James doesn't actually care about acting as an art form, really.
I feel like he's becoming. What's the other Kevin? The one that we talk about being Britain? Smith.
Kevin Smith.
He's kind of becoming that, like an online presence. Like he's got his whole the audio guy or whatever it's
sound
called.
guy. Yeah.
Sound
Those are actually
like
pretty
that,
funny though.
good.
Some of those.
Yeah, they're really well done actually. So he's fine doing whatever he's doing.
Let him do his thing.
But then I do think about this week, the bloated corpse of the Saw franchise is coming back with Spiral.
Yeah.
From the Book of Saw, and apparently it's trash because of course, why isn't it? Like, why wouldn't it?
Yeah.
But the fact that someone like Chris Rock, out of everyone out there, was the one to be like, no, Saw is my favorite film franchise, and I know what we could do with it. And then he stars in it. He writes it. I don't know.
I know I've said this to you before, but in that movie, in a lot of the like photos and stuff you see of him, he looks
like he's had plastic surgery.
Yeah, he looks like fucking John Travolta.
No, he actually does.
I don't know what it is.
I hate his face in it. I can't stand it every time I look at it.
But
then he looks like he should be gruffer, because obviously the way they've made him look. But then he talks, he still just sounds like Chris Rock from fucking Fifth Element. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, although he's also supposed to be in the next season of Fargo, isn't he?
See, yeah, so that's now streaming on like Channel 4, and I really want to watch it, because apparently he's really good at it.
I thought it was only out in America at the moment.
Oh, sorry. Not the whole series is out, but it's just started.
Okay.
So I think the first episode was out on Sunday.
Right.
So yeah, I'm definitely interested in that. And I love looking up actors, like comedy actors, to see if they've done serious stuff. I mean, it was like when Jim Carrey did like Truman
Show, Eternal Sunshine,
Man on the Moon.
Yeah, like he's done like several big ones like that.
Has Rob Schneider ever done a series?
Oh, I don't know if he could pull that off. He did Real Rob, but
only you.
That was too real.
I typed in Rob Schneider like drama film, and it just comes up with Big Daddy, The Longest Yard, Grown Ups, Ridiculous Six. What? How could you be fine with yourself having a catalog?
Yeah, because he's minted. He's got a hot wife. He's got it made.
Yeah.
he.
And I would say, I suppose he's not offending anyone by existing, but he literally, that's all he's done his whole career. It's just offend every
Yeah,
culture.
I like that though. What do you think of Michael Myers? Mike Myers. Because I feel like he's in a similar category.
Yeah, but I think the problem with him is the film industry hasn't been kind to him or his dickish ways. Like, almost every film production he's worked on, he has been a nightmare, and people have come out and just said he's
awful to work with. Well, he's just
like
arrogant.
in a nasty way. Yeah, like arrogant and nasty. Like Cat in the Hat, like the fact that he refused to speak to anyone on set and like didn't give the kids like eye contact.
Yeah, but to be honest, who would want to be talking to people when you're in that situation?
Fair enough, but why did he give a performance of a lifetime in that film?
I mean, he nailed it.
Fair enough. But yeah, this is the thing. Like, he hated it, apparently. Yet that doesn't come through in his performance.
No, you wouldn't think that. Like, don't people say he's... Isn't there, like, all that stuff where apparently he stole Austin Powers from Dana Carvey?
Yeah.
Which, I don't know how legitimate that is.
I feel like... I mean, between him and Dana Carvey... I mean, Carvey's career is even worse. I mean, the Master of Disguise and shit like that.
I've never actually watched Master of Disguise. Is it as bad as it sounds?
It's probably worse, but it's far more entertaining.
Because I've seen like snippets from it, and it's crazy. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, he's like in a big green suit or some shit in one part.
Oh, the turtle. Oh, look, we can't get into it because we've got another podcast, guys, called Top and Tail. We might change the name of it. I don't know when, but whatever. We've got some episodes, but. I would love to do an episode on Master of Disguise. Maybe
really?
Master of Disguise versus Cat in the Hat.
Ooh.
Carvey versus... Because they're probably their most infamous movies that they've done. That, you know, for being bad. But there is a scene... That scene that you're talking about where he's in a turtle. Because the joke is... Get this. The joke is... Oh, you have to wear a suit. A turtle suit. Or a shell suit.
Right.
So... Obviously, shell suit is a type of suit that people wear. But the joke is that he's taken that literally. So he's wearing a turtle shell suit. Right. And he goes, turtle! And all he can say is turtle. I'm a turtle.
I've seen like that. Yeah, I've seen that clip.
There is a behind-the-scenes picture of that scene. Basically, 9/11 happened while they were filming that scene.
Right.
And out of respect, all the crew and cast did a 2-minute silence. Now, they did this while Dana Carvey is stood there in this fucking turtle, paying his respects to the 2,000 or so people who died at 9/11.
Oh my god, that is an amazing bit. The fact that it's real is amazing.
I mean, when I heard that, I was like, that's just insane.
Have to watch it.
Yeah. Definitely, you're going to have to put the picture of him as the turtle on the thumbnail.
Yeah,
I'm afraid.
Of course.
Him and, like, Lady D, something. I don't know how.
Of course.
Let me just... But yeah, like, I don't know. It's a shame to see these people kind of become, I don't know, just tragic characters of history.
I feel like that with Chevy Chase, because I love the old school Chevy Chase stuff. Then he like went off the rails and he came back with like Community, and he nailed it. But apparently he was like he was another person who's just a nightmare on set.
Yeah. I don't get these people though, because it's like it's not like either you were born into a place of privilege where you were able to get these roles, and you were funny from the off, and you didn't have to work on the grind, like doing comedy clubs like 4 in a row and traveling between states every night, or you fought your way up the chain and you put so much hard work and dedication. But then why would you be a dick to other people if you've come from that background of like having to fight?
It's because either way, the person ends up feeling entitled because either they've always had it easy, or since they had to like work really hard to get where they are, they feel like they deserve all that respect and shit.
That
So,
clout.
like, they feel like they're better than everyone because they worked really hard for it.
Yeah, it's just a shame. Like I was obviously Ellen DeGeneres has officially cancelled her show. Too.
Nice.
But also, it brought up the question of like, this is one thing I had on my list to bring up, right? Probably the last topic we'll bring up because we're running a bit long. But
Yeah.
the Friends reunion is finally happening.
Is it?
A sit
Is
down,
it official?
unscripted, an unscripted thing on the 27th of this month on HBO. There's a little teaser where the crew, the cast are walking hand in hand, like through with the studio back.
That's cute.
Now, what's really upsetting about this is you would think how many guest stars that show has, right?
Yeah. Bruce
so
Willis, Brad
how-
Pitt, Clooney.
Yeah, Bruce. Yeah. So, who are they going to have on as guest stars for this to discuss the history and the filming and like certain episodes and shit like that?
I bet there'll be someone who like wrote a book about the history of Friends, or like people. They'll just get dumb people like that no one actually cares about.
I mean, that would be like more entertaining. I think that would actually be good.
Really?
Like,
Wait, so who have they got on?
here are some of the celebrity guests, right? David Beckham.
David Beckham.
You know the
why?
footballer?
The footballer, the one who's married to Posh Spice.
Yep.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. Big. Obviously, everyone thinks of Friends. They think of David Beckham. Justin Bieber. Of course.
Right.
BTS.
What?
Yeah. Cindy Crawford. Of course.
Why and how?
Cara Delevingne. Wasn't probably even born when the show was
Yeah.
like being aired. Lady Gaga, obviously. I mean, obviously, all these people I've mentioned so far they were on the show. They were.
Worked on the show. Yeah, all of it.
Yeah.
Were alive when it was made.
Yeah. Kit Harington, because of course Game of Thrones. Friends.
It would just be them talking about like. It would just be like.
Friends when I was.
I remember watching Friends when I was 8 years old and I loved it, and then that's it.
Do you want to know the only 2 guest stars that had anything to do with the show?
Sure. Let me hear.
Somehow they got Tom Selleck. Thank God.
All right. You know what?
Might save the entire thing.
I'll give them that. Yeah.
And then Reese Witherspoon, because obviously she was
Yeah, she was Rachel's sister.
sister. Yeah, that's it. But the one person I wanted to get to, talking about the whole like people being entitled and just cunts.
Yeah.
James Corden.
Oh no.
James Corden is. It makes it seem like he's the fucking host.
What?
Because all I saw on Twitter was like, why are people still casting this prick? And then loads of stories about like people who'd work on sets with him, or people who went to see like live tapings and stuff, and how much of a just nasty piece of work this guy
Yeah.
is. And he came from a kind of shit show on BBC Three.
Yeah. I'll never understand how he became such a big star.
Nope. And like musicals and shit, like he sucks.
Like, yeah,
The Emoji Movie, Cats, like.
Uh,
Why do people keep pushing him into shit?
people in America seem to like, or like other countries seem to love him for some reason.
Because he's British.
I guess so. He's a fat, funny British man.
Yeah, but we know the truth.
Yeah. We know about fucking Gavin and Stacey. We know about like I don't know.
There was just stuff like he had like a what do you call it? He had a meltdown on I think the Late Show.
Oh yeah.
Because a script supervisor said to him, "Oh, you need to." It said something to do with the script, like he had said it in the wrong order. Or he wanted to place one section before the other. James Corden didn't even look at him. Had a fucking meltdown because why should this lowlife speak to me? Only the director should speak to me. Apparently, he doesn't make eye contact with anyone. He fired a camera operator because he looked him wrong way in the wrong way in the eye. But James Corden had messed up a line and felt embarrassed, so because one guy might have smirked, he fired him. Apparently, someone was sat next to him on a plane, and he said that the whole time, right, there was a woman opposite him with a baby that was crying or like disgruntled being on the flight. James Corden kept turning up his headphones and just ignoring the baby and like making like scoff remarks, like just be like and like. The whole 4-hour flight. I would, yeah.
To be fair.
Everyone would. But who was the woman? His fucking wife.
Oh.
Apparently it was like 4 or 5 hour flight. As they're leaving, she was trying to carry like 5 bags, including some of his. He had nothing. Didn't say a word to her. She dropped shit. And then she said to him, like, please can you just pick up something? Like, help. And apparently he just looked her up and down, picked it up, and walked off. And it's like, you were on a shit British comedy show. Sorry.
Yeah.
And you can't act for anything. You can't
He's not a good
sing
actor.
for anything.
He's a terrible presenter. I don't know how he's getting all this work.
No. He is like the amalgamation of what he would be like a funny character in like South Park. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I always find it funny that I feel like the thing he's most famous for is the carpool karaoke thing, at least now. That's fake. That's not real.
Yeah,
he doesn't
the whole
actually.
thing's fake.
Yeah, it's every aspect. He doesn't even drive.
No, and you can see it in the windows sometimes as they go
Yeah.
past it. He's on a truck.
Yeah, it's stupid. But like, I hadn't heard like a lot of those stories. That's crazy. I've heard like other shitty stories, but yeah.
There was one in the UK here. We have like Ant and Dec, who are like prime time
Legends. OGs.
absolute legends. And they did their show Saturday Night Live Takeaway.
Yeah.
Massive show that's been going for like 10 years. They do pranks on unsuspecting celebrities. And they did one on him when he was first started the Late Show. They had like a billboard of him changed, and then they both dressed up in disguises and were like asking him for autographs. And the funny thing is, it catches him out because obviously he didn't know it was those two, and he is being a prick to them.
Oh,
he's like,
really?
Get the fuck. He's like, get away from me now. If you want to speak to me, you have to speak to my director. Go through them. Go through my agency. Fuck you. And then obviously they were like, it's us.
It's us.
And then he's like, oh my god, I knew it all along. No, you didn't.
Oh.
You fat wank. Like. Oh, and one last thing. Apparently, he went into a union meeting because he's actually the employer because the Late Show is his, and he wanted to advocate for all the crew to get paid less.
What?
Yeah, he went into a meeting that was supposed to be between him and the senior crew, like production managers, not anyone else. He brought lawyers in with him, like either side, and people from like pay dispute places to basically be like. You're getting paid less. Nothing you can do about it.
God, that's shit. That's shitty.
Yeah. British people suck when they get famous.
Yeah, they're some of the worst.
But yeah, I think that's about all the railing on people we can do today.
Yeah.
Talking shit about stuff.
Yeah, I think we had a nice little discussion. Video games, bad games, politics, bad games, journalism, and British people.
Yeah. That's pretty good. Good to be back. We'll do another one. I've got some more thought experiment stuff we can do.
Oh, okay. Nice. I like that.
All right. Well, if anyone's watching this, thanks. And go and listen to our podcast stuff. We'll do
go play it on repeat so we can get
so we get those
mad views.
So we get more V-Buck for the cause.
More V-Bucks.
we will do a 24 hour Twitch stream of Fortnite, and we'll donate all V-Bucks to the Israeli Palestinian.
All the in-game coins we earn are going straight to the helping Israeli military.
That's such a like. That's also like a kind of South Park thing. Imagine it's like we raise all of this money as V-Bucks, and we go to a little child in hospital who's just lost an entire family. His house is bombed to the ground, and he's lying there, and we're like, "Hi, are the cameras on us? Are the cameras on us? We've got this to V-Bucks." And the kid just flatlines.
Can we get another kid in? Come on. No, I thought you meant it's like we were raising this money, but we never actually said it was specifically for like the Palestinian like effort. It's like, no, we're actually giving it to the Israeli government so they can afford more like missiles and shit.
Oh,
that's funny.
Well, that's it, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bye bye now.
All right. Bye. Love you.